Es el homenaje que se le brinda al suboficial superior Jaime Reina Ruiz. Él prestó servicios en la División Nacional de Operaciones Especiales. El comunicado de la Dirección de Información de la Policía cuenta que luego del desalojo los efectivos policiales realizaban patrullajes en la pista de aterrizaje cuando fueron atacados a mansalva desde alrededores con armas de fuego, escopetas de retrocarga que en esa región son usados para la caza.
Ningún indígena está herido, ninguna comunidad nativa ha sufrido las consecuencias de algún enfrentamiento. Eso es la policía.
They'd asked 3 times for interviews with the petrol company, and the petrol company apparently, this version comes from the indigenous, apparently were very slow to respond. So they took possession of the airport landing strip, and then that is what caused the petrol company then to ask for the intervention of the police from Lima, not local police. It was a special police force, the much more aggressive groups, who went in to clear the airport. Unfortunately, they didn't just clear the airport. They then went to the homes of the people. It was when they went into the homes that one of the policemen was killed. If you can imagine, this is Indian territory. The petrol company is in land that is owned by the indigenous. They are there because the state has allowed them to be there, but they're actually occupying what are indigenous lands. So if they then go into the home of the indigenous in a violent way, they react in self-defense, their version. So one policeman was killed. When we're talking about armaments for the police from Lima, things like machetes, air rifles, the shotguns that the people use every day when they go to the field to do their hunting for their food, these were considered by the police to be offensive weapons. And they obliged the men who've been detained, about 50 of them, they obliged them to take the arms out of the houses and then took photographs of each detainee holding one of these arms, with the intention, obviously, then showing later in Lima, for the national television, these apparently dangerous, inclusive. They'd actually included the word terrorist elements. So, unfortunately, we've seen an intervention on the part of the national government, quite repressive, offensive. And then the whole process, legal process that has carried on since that first attack by the police has been full of legal anomalies. For example, the people did not have the presence of a lawyer. Not all the people had the presence of a lawyer in their first manifestations, the first testimonies taken by the police. And the police took the testimonies in Andoras itself, which was not the place where it should have been done. It should have been done in Daten, which is the judicial jurisdiction. They weren't allowed to speak in their own language. For the whole of the 8 days that they were under arrest, without any charges still, they were held without being able to express themselves in their own language. In fact, when one of the local leaders managed to get into the police station and have contact with some of the detained people, he was thrown out because he started to speak to them in Achuar. There were 2 wounded natives who were not allowed any medical treatment until 8 days later. And the particularly sensitive issue is that in this roundup of people without any criteria, it was a roundup of anybody who was on the village streets, they've arrested various Apus. The Apu is the spiritual figure, the leader of the group, and to arrest them without cause is like somebody going into the cathedral and arresting a bishop. So it's been a very unfortunate intervention, and unfortunately will probably now have a whole consequence of possible future violent actions.